Alright, welcome back to part 2 of our bridge series, and in this video we're going to talk about once you've completed your bridge, running it through the test and making sure it hits all the technical criteria that you need for your bridge. So I've finished or completed my bridge that I'm going to design, and I'm going to run it through the test. So let's see what happens. So truck didn't make it across, so it doesn't pass the simulation. Let's go back and see if we can figure out if we can fix that. Back to drawing board, so test. So there, just a reminder, test, load test to get to the simulation, test drawing board to get back to your design mode. So now I can see that I have 4 beams that have failed. Okay, and what I can do over here is I can also see, because they're highlighted in red, but I want them all together. So I'm going to click on that header, and I'm going to click on it again to bring them up to the top. And notice that these are compression ratios. I have tension ratios right next to me. These are all over 1. So 1 is when it fails. So if you get to 1, that means the beam is failing. Okay, and the closer it gets, the more compression is on it. So the redder that's going to be in the simulation. So I have several that are pretty close to 1. So see right in here, I have these that are all in 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. So getting close to 1. All right. How do we fix that? Let's highlight those members. And right now the size is all at 140. Okay. So I can come up here, I can pull down once I've highlighted those that I want to adjust, and I can change them to anything up to 200 by 200. I'm going to go with 180. Alright, so let's pause right here and look at our criteria. So the bridge must pass the West Point Bridge Designer simulation. All beams and members should have a 0.6 compression or tension ratio or less. So we'll look at that again in a second. It must cost less than $600,000, and all solid bar members cannot go above 200 by 200. So that's what I was just talking about. In that drop down menu here, I don't want to go over 200 by 200. You can get up to that point, but not over. All right. So I've adjusted those ones that failed to, I've increased their size. So let's test it again. Still seeing a lot of red. But the ones that failed before did not fail, and the truck made it across. So it did pass that. Let's go back to our design mode. Again, I've gotten this one done. So I passed the designer simulation, but let's see if I've hit the 0.6 compression or tension ratio or less. Let's check that out. Again, I want to click on here and adjust that so I can see just the compression ratios, the highest ones up at the top, and I do have several that are 0.6 or above, so right in here, and they've highlighted them over here, and I'm actually going to include that one too, that 0.57, because that's pretty close. So that's these right here, and if you remember from the simulation, these were the ones that were the most red. Okay, so this does not meet the criteria yet, because even though it passed, even though I got the truck across, I still have some members that are too close to failing. So I'm going to adjust those as well. I'll move those up to 180 by 180. Still gives me some room to go. I could make them stronger if I needed to, or larger, but it also makes them heavier, so that adds tension compression to the bridge itself. All right, let's check out, while I'm here, let's check out my tension forces, and I have 2 here that are above, and actually I have 4 that are really close. So I'm going to select all 4 of those, that 0.57, 0.58, 0.62, and 0.62. So 2 of those don't pass, and 2 are really close. So I'm also going to adjust those, make them larger. Okay, let's try it out. Test again. Not quite as red as the truck goes across. So the blue shows us tension, the red is compression. Let's go back to our design mode. Let's make sure here now I have my highest compression ratios at the top. 0.5 is my highest, 0.52. So that does, everything else is below that, so that does meet criteria. Let's look at tension. Again, 0.48 is my highest, so that also meets criteria. So looking back here, I have 0.6 or less. I have nothing over 200 by 200. In fact, I have nothing over 180 by 180. Let's check the cost out. Right up here is my cost. I'm at $344,000. That is well within the budget. So I'm all good in terms of technical criteria. I've met all of those. And now I am ready to, if I'm happy with the bridge design, I want to save it and start, have it available so that I can make it. Okay, so come back in part 3 and we're going to talk about how to do that.